Bulls, they have an amazing, talented roster. It looks incredible, at least on paper. Currently, they kind of seem like the middle of the road team. They seem like they're good enough to make the playoffs, but they're not a legit contender. DeMar DeRozan was absolutely spectacular for them last year. They were able to re-sign Zach LaVine, who is a huge, contributor and playmaker and scorer, and just they have a lot of talent on this team. But there's still a lot of concerns with, are they good enough to compete with the upper echelon teams in the Eastern Conference? And, they have a great center in Vucevic, who he is an expiring contract. So do they re-sign him? What do they do? Are they willing to invest into this team? Or do they need to start looking to maybe blow this up and pick a direction? Because if you don't feel like you're a legit contender, do you move these pieces? Do you trade DeMar to a team that, would give you some young assets, some young players, say, just for an example, I'm not saying that this will happen, but say the Sixers, say you could get like a Maxey or something like that, a piece for your future that could be very good. You do have young talent already on this team. Zach LaVine, do you trade him to go get some solid talent? Do you maybe trade, some of your young guys and go get, an upgraded star or something along those lines? Like, what direction do the Bulls go? Or do they just kind of stand pat and be the middle of the pack type team? Because I don't think this team is better than maybe a 6 seed in the Eastern Conference. I at the very least, put the Bucks. The Celtics are a little question mark, right? With all the drama and just craziness that they have going on with their team. You have the Sixers, depending on which James Harden you get, I think is better than this team. Miami, what's going to happen with Miami? Is Miami going to, take a step back? Are they still going to be that veteran-led team that is able to achieve great heights, and it'll be an in-and-out Jimmy Butler away from being in the finals again? Like, there's a lot of these stacked teams, but I think ultimately there's only maybe 3 that are like legit contenders in the Eastern Conference. The Brooklyn Nets, if they are healthy, I think they're better than this team. I think the Brooklyn Nets might have the best roster in the entire league on paper. Again, a lot of question marks, implosion, stuff like that. So do the Bulls just kind of stand pat and hope that, the Nets implode and that the Celtics implode? And then all you really got to worry about is like, the Milwaukee Bucks, because James Harden, if he doesn't, history tells you he's not going to show up in the playoffs. So maybe you're in a good position. The young Cavs team, as great as they are, I think you have enough veteran and experienced players on the Bulls to where I think you can kind of triumphant over that. Miami, I think, could be a real threat, but it's just, where do you see Chicago amongst the Eastern Conference playoff teams? And they got to pick a direction. And it doesn't help when your star point guard in Lonzo Ball can't stay healthy. He could end up being one of the biggest what-if stories. Just an incredible talent. Court vision is absolutely, bar none. He's really great defensively, can read passing lanes, got good size. He much improved on his shot, but he's having another knee surgery, and it's supposed to be another 6 weeks before he's reevaluated again. And it's just like, it's unfortunate, but we've seen it. Like, guys like Brandon Roy was looking like he was going to be the next big thing. Lots of hype, things like that. And then he ends up having knee problems and ends up having all these surgeries and stuff, and is never to be the same. Now technology, advancements, medicine, health, things like that in general are just much better than they once were. But still, Lonzo Ball is still having these issues. And unless he can get back to being healthy and be a real contributor, there's a lot of concerns for this too. Luckily, Chicago does have a lot of point guard depth in play. You got Alex Caruso. They did sign Goran Dragic. You have Ayo. You got a lot of these guys that can come in and kind of hold down the fort, but none of them offer you what Lonzo Ball offers you. Lonzo Ball is kind of the engine that can steer this ship. He's the one that's the facilitator. He's the one that doesn't need to put up 20 points a game. You got your great scorers in LaVine and DeRozan. You got your low post threat. You got everything you need. And Lonzo's just the guy making sure they all get to eat. He's the chef, dishing out the dishes. Like that's what this is. But if you can't have him healthy and you're just continue to be this middle of the pack team, you got enough young talent to where you're almost better off just blowing it up. Just saying, hey, let's rebuild, let's build like a legit contender and get some assets. Kind of take the Utah Jazz route. I mean, that's what the Jazz did. I'm not saying that they have to do that now. I'm not saying they should do it this year. See what you got this year. See where you're at this year. But again, if you're, a first round exit, or, you're a play-in team, or, you're just teetering on that 6th seed, I think if you're Chicago, you really got to start looking at, going a different direction. Because, what are you going to do with Lonzo? What are you going to do with LaVine? How long is he going to want to stay there? Has been a question that's been asked for a while. I mean, there were already talks of him leaving, going to Portland, potentially the Lakers, stuff like that. And he did sign the long-term contract. But we've seen in today's NBA, a lot of these players, they get their money now, and then they get the trade later. And so, yeah, Chicago could stand pat. But, do you really want to do that for a team that you're not a legit contender for? I understand why the Nets did it with Kevin Durant. Because the Nets with Kevin Durant, they're a legit contender, right? They might be the best team in the league. So I understand that. If LaVine wants out, you're not the best team in the league. You're not even arguably the best team in the league. You're a middle of the road team. And I would love to see Chicago be good. I'd love to see Chicago be a legit contender once again. But if we're being honest and we're speaking in the reality, which teams are Chicago really better in that aren't the end of the road teams? The teams that are fighting for a play-in spot, or the bottom half of the seeding. I think there are at least 4 to 5 teams that I would put over Chicago to just be better. And that's not even counting potentially how good the Cavs could be. They were a very young, good, surprising team last season, and now they just got, their closer and scorer. I don't know. I think it's a really tough spot for Chicago to be in. You got Lonzo Ball, who he cannot stay healthy, he cannot stay on the court, and you really need him. You need his floor spacing, you need his facilitating, you need his defense. But again, give it some time, see what it is. At least maybe make some moves at the trade deadline if you have to. Kind of figure it out. But if you have to, I just think Chicago's going to have to, in the next year or two, is really going to have to pick a direction. You got enough assets that are valuable to other teams that would give up a pretty nice package. I think LaVine would get you a nice return, especially to teams because they would know that they'd have him under contract for multiple years. DeMar DeRozan, I think, would field a nice return. You could just let Vucevic go, just let him walk if you wanted to, and just kind of have that cap space, and then figure out what to do with Lonzo Ball. You keep him; he's 25. If he can get back to being healthy, maybe you keep him and just kind of build around him. You can make an argument to keep LaVine because LaVine's still young, but I just think he's your best tradable asset. I think he would field you the best return possible, and I just think that his long-term contract would be huge for other teams. That could also be your bargaining point. Because it's just if you're Chicago, do you want to be? I just don't see this team winning a championship. Maybe if you can go get a piece or two to maybe make this all work, and if Lonzo can get healthy and stuff and kind of be the Lonzo Ball that many people thought he was going to be, maybe, but I don't know. I look at this team stacked up to the other teams, and I don't look at them and go, you know what, that team's a legit contender. I think that team could be any team in the league. I don't. I think that they get smacked by, at least 4 to 5 teams in the Eastern Conference if they meet in the playoffs. But look, that's just my opinion, and as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know yours down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think that, Chicago, look, they should just blow it up, get what you can, start recouping assets, go the Cleveland Brown, the Cleveland Cavalier route, look at what they were able to do. Cleveland Cavaliers, they got the Mobley, they got that, they were able to get some assets, get some young players, and then go get a Donovan Mitchell. I could see that be for the Bulls. You basically trade and unload everything. You kind of start from scratch. You get a couple pieces, you hit on a couple good draft picks, then you go and use everything else you got and go get you a star. Like that could be very well the route the Bulls have. And then even the Jazz, go the Jazz route. Trade off all your stars, recoup as many assets as possible, and then start the rebuild process. I just think what other option is there? Unless you could go get a big, other star or a couple like mid-tier role player stuff, but who is that? Like maybe you could go in the offseason, go sign like a Miles Turner, but he's injury prone, so now your point guard and your center are very injury prone. Like what are the guys that you could go get to really put around these three to make you a legit contender? Like Miles Turner and Otto Porter, or something like that. I don't know. It's just it's a tough spot, I think, for Chicago to be in. But do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? However you feel, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. Quick little shameless plug, go subscribe to my second channel, link down in the description below. As it stands, Lakers. I am a diehard Laker fan. I love talking Lakers. I could talk Lakers all day, just like I could talk about all sports all day. And I'm sure many of you watching to this point enjoy my commentary, enjoy these discussions. So go check out the Lakers channel. Even if you're not a Laker fan and you just like hearing me talk about stuff in basketball, go over there and subscribe. I'll link down in the description below. I promise you won't be disappointed. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.